Yo, what's going on out there, YouTube family? We are back for another Mandalorian Season 2, The Tragedy. This is Chapter 14. I got Major here. I got Lucas here. We about to do the daggone thing. Biggest disclaimer, if you haven't seen the episode by now, you already did yourself a disservice because it's Monday. If you ain't
it's all your fault,
then you don't even care. So
it's Mando Mondays now.
Hey, there you go.
You know what? We should actually low key. We should patent
There
that.
you go.
We should go for
Mando
that.
Mondays.
Never trademark.
I'm with that.
But yeah, so let's just go ahead and dive straight into it. I haven't talked to either one of these brothers about the episode at all. I have my personal gripes with it, and then I have some things I really liked about it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it up this time. I'm going to talk about stuff that I thought was really dope. And then I'm going to talk about what you guys really thought could have been improved in this episode. So for me, can we talk about the tragedy? Just the title. What was the tragedy in this outside of this little child getting abducted by Moss Gideon? I don't know. Is that the tragedy? Is that what we're going off of in this one?
Dude, you if you have time, truly look at some other people's reviews of this, like the ones who are like, I mean, when I say diehard Star Wars fans, I mean, they might sacrifice themselves for the greater good of Star Wars, like how passionate they were. I saw a review where somebody legitimately was in tears because Baby Yoda got kidnapped, and I was like, "Oh, that's the tragedy."
Oh, okay.
That's the tragedy. I mean, you know, I didn't see that, but I guess apparently I didn't swear my blood into the oath of Star Wars-ness because, like, much like you, Sam, I would have said the same day. What was the tragedy, folks? Like, let's keep it 100. What was the tragedy?
How didn't y'all know the tragedy was the kidnapping of the Sith baby? That was clearly the tragedy of this episode. I mean, now personally, I can name a couple of more tragedies in this episode, but I know for a fact they were just pertaining to the kid getting kidnapped, as that being the tragedy, that being the moment where now Mando has to go on the same movie mission that every movie star goes on with kids, and that is to rescue the kid that he never knew he loved. Like all of that, Joe.
All right, so based on that, you know, we see, Grogu. Is that his name? Grogu?
Grogu, that's him. The child
himself. He went and they got to the location. And he went into his meditative state at the moment that Mando left. Mm-hmm. And from that point, he was just kind of stuck there. I personally, one of my other gripes with that was I was kind of like, can y'all show me what he's seen? Can y'all show me like what is really going through the process with all of this? Because normally, even if it's a comic or even if it's like one of the side stories, kind of like you're seeing flashes and memories and things that are relevant to his character and his process. Because from all intents and purposes, we can assume that this is a Seth baby, or we can assume something else. But this would have been a great opportunity to just show flashes of stuff to kind of give him like a little bit more of an elevation of character. But I thought that was one of my other gripes that I had with it, because I was like, man, this is a dope opportunity. And then I felt like, why you keep on going at this thing? You know, you can't touch it. He got pushed off that thing 3 times. Three times, right?
Hey.
And I was like, you got knocked out and almost passed out for what? A good amount of time that people were trying to kill you. And I was like, he's smarter than that.
That's one of the tragedies of this episode.
He's smarter than that.
His stupidity was a tragedy in this episode.
Can I ask y'all a question? I really, really want to be wrong about this. I've seen other people do forced meditation. Ray recently on the Rock with Luke right behind her, and no force field. Maybe it's because of the sacred place that they're at, but they also went to that temple of the Jedi where the books were all held and no force field. I'm just wondering, why is his meditation all of a sudden aggressive?
Sith. We have established he's evil. He has an evil force field around him.
I just want to know, because again, we've seen And you have to assume that Rey, because being trained by Luke and by way of Leia, should you say, you have to say she's significantly strong. Obviously not stronger than him because we've already talked about that. But like, why is his force meditation? First of all, when was meditation ever an aggressive thing? So that's what threw me off. When he started walking into it, I was like, oh, they're trying to set a precedence here. They're trying to show us that this isn't just a regular thing. This is why he continuously kept going. And they have a bond. So it should have been within trust. And the force at all is not at all repellent. Good. So I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm shoehorning here, but like I'm just confused.
No, I think that's a really good point to bring up, Najir, because the moment that did happen, I was kind of like, whoa, this joint, the beacon of light that's around him, it literally pushed past the planet. And I was like, okay, what is really going on here? Because not only are we not seeing what's happening, but even in the back half of this episode, when he did get captured, and we've seen it before, like Gina Guerrero's character, he freaking force choked her. Mm-hmm. And like, I was kind of like thrown off by that. But when he went up against these stormtroopers, I was like, is he about to kill them? Dang. Like straight up, I was kind of like, he was about to take them off of this planet. And now granted, he was kidnapped, but he did everything but force lightning. I was kind of like, yo, Lucas and Najir are right.
Thank you.
No, let me tell you what else really quick too. Like Moff Gideon, and let me actually go back to the picture really quick. Moff Gideon right here. Does that look like a man that's concerned that somebody significantly stronger than him of the opposite force is across from him?
No.
Is anybody typically? Yeah, he looked pretty pleased. Like
when he said, I mean, let him go. Let's see what he does. Like that's a sign. That's evil 101.
This was Palpatine looking at Anakin the first time when Anakin defied Mace Windu. When he looked, and like at that point, he was just like, "Oh, okay." And that's that look that gave me like Moff Gideon. I love this scene. Actually, it was really well done. I thought that Giancarlo, I thought he told the story in his emotions alone. That, and I still don't see how people aren't seeing this. He is by no means worried that there is a good guy across from him that can jeopardize anything he needs to do.
Yeah, so he's not worried. He's looking at him like he's prey. He's like, look at him go. And to be fair, like this man, bro, I love him as an actor because he just, I ain't gonna say he's too good for this show, but he lights up every single scene that he's in. When he just started walking down, I was like, yo, he's commanding the scene. I don't, it's not too many actors who can just do that with just their presence alone.
It's fine. Too good for the show, though. It's fine. We can say it.
I can't say that.
That doesn't.
I won't say that.
No. Here's the thing. You can say someone is too good for a show and the show not be bad. This is because he's too good for dear white people. That the show isn't bad. He's just that good. And that's it. He commands attention on everything I've seen him on since Do the Right Thing.
Yeah, he's in the top echelon of actors, and whenever you consider somebody of his caliber on a television show, everything is top tier. And the Mandalorian is a very top tier show.
Yes, it's not a bad. It's not like we're saying it's a horrible. Think about this.
You're just not getting stellar performances across the board from everybody.
The Boys was a good show, a really good show. But every time he was on screen, it gets different. Yeah, and that's what this is. It gets different when he's on screen.
I don't want to go off tangent, but like to your point, it's like what Meryl Streep does for me on the screen. Like when he's on screen, you're just like, oh, something special is happening here. Exactly. Something's going to happen special. Yeah. Like this is a special type of actor. This is what people inspire to be. And again, just off his look, told the entire story. And he went back and said, now we got our donor. And people are still thinking like, so typically, again, donors mean somebody that is compatible with something else. When you need a blood donor, you get the same blood. Yeah. You think he's getting the Jedi for a Jedi? I'm just confused here. So, and I made sure I wrote that as a quote. He said, now they got their donor. So what other evidence do we need now? He needs to turn from green to red, I guess.
I mean, even one other thing that I thought was crazy, I was like, yo, he got some balls for this. When he pulled out the dark saber, he was like, look at this. This looks nice. I was like,
and he went to go grab it and touch it. Like, oh, that looks so familiar to me.
Yeah, I'm telling you. My precious.
Yo, I was kind of just like, there's a reason. Everything that he's doing is calm and collected and calculated. Everything since the last episode of the last season, I felt like this has all been strategic. And him showing him that saber was a reason for him doing that.
Yep.
And it ain't got nothing to do with whatever he's getting from him. He has other plans for this kid. What we don't know, but he's shown that whatever Mondo's been trying to do, he's not ahead of this man. So it's gonna be an interesting GOAT. But one thing I do want to talk positive is, what did you guys think about your boy Boba Fett?
You shouldn't have said positive and said that name, but I'm gonna let Najee go first.
Oh yeah, I mean, here's what I gotta say. Boba Fett. The first episode, we were wondering what was going to happen. Was he going to pertain to the season? Would he pertain to something bigger? And I am head over heels excited for the depth of this character now. Everything iconic about him flying in the ship, when he looked over at the Razor Crest and saw his armor, I got chills. When he landed in with his armor, and scratch that, before he even got the armor, and when he had his weapon, I forget what it's called, and to see that, because we haven't seen this side of him. We haven't seen him. We can almost go as far as saying desperate to regain what is his and getting his armor. To see him have this martial arts background to completely wash all of the stormtroopers.
Yo, he really walked them jokers with that cane.
And then he put the armor on. I mean, he went max steel. He went full blown turbo, and all his weaponry came out.
Say that name.
I loved it. And the big thing to take from this is that here's the tricky and the perception again. We know he is a bounty hunter, the truest of the bounty hunter. He is the best bounty hunter in all of the galaxy. Everybody knows his name. Just didn't know if he was still alive or not. The fact that he pledged allegiance, they squashed the beast so quick. They was like, you're Mandalorian, we're cool. You know my background now, we're cool. He says, you know what? You gave me my armor back. I'm going to help you get the kid back. You have to understand now that we're talking about one for certain bad guy, one bad guy that we're for certain is a bad guy that everyone's not aware of yet. And then we have this Mando, Din Djarin, who's in the middle now where we don't know. But at the end of the day, he's still a Mandalorian. The Mandalorians have always proven to kind of be bad guys in Star Wars. At this point now, we're seeing the bad guys getting beefed up in statue right now. And things are getting crazy. I'm not sure who's actually good at this point, but it was hella cool to see Boba Fett kick ass the way he did. Man.
Yeah, so the Star Wars fanboy in me, the good part, I was really overjoyed seeing, honestly, Boba Fett getting his due. Like, not to say that the original films didn't, but to me, aside from one or two scenes in this episode, he got more to do physically and emotively and structurally than he's gotten in all the other older films that I've seen him in. I mean, they've gone and done some different things in animation style and with comic books, but I felt like this was the first time I really got to see what he's truly capable of and his convictions. Like, he brought up his dad. Like, he brought up why he's doing what he's doing. He brought up his lineage. And I loved all of it. I really did enjoy it. Was it hokey? Was it cheesy at times? Mm-hmm. Yes. Was it acted well? No. That didn't matter to me because I really did enjoy it. I actually was all for it. I was really kind of like, yo, let me see this man really go for it. And when they started to kind of like fly off, I was like, ain't no way he's gonna take down this one ship. This man took down 2 ships. One. I was like, what is this foolishness? But I loved it. I really did. Like him and the assassin girl, Mulan, I loved them. I loved it. I loved what they were doing. And it was kind of like, it was weird because they didn't have any reason to help, Mondo. But at the same exact time, it was like a respect that it was like, you know what? We're going to go and help you for now. That was kind of weird.
I mean, but they, again, because it was a tension of, I need mine back. And it was like, wait a minute. Because, Mando, he's not a true predator or a true hunter. I'm not going to use the word predator, but for only one thing. He's a true hunter, and he understands that there's compromise, there's deals and everything. And he's just like, well, if you're Mandalorian, then you can have your armor. And he proved it to him. So he's like, all right, then we good. That's it. Yeah. He was going to take the armor back and take it back to his rightful tribe, in other words. But the fact that they came to an understanding, that's all it is. There was no reason for it to be a beef. The other big thing I want to just throw real quick, and then Lou, you got it, is that I know this show, The Mandalorian, and we're focusing on Den, but we have got to remember that Den has still been in training and still really coming into his own these 2 seasons. Boba Fett is in his blood for life to be excelling in strategy, technique, combat, all that, unlike no other. Him being on his side is the best asset going forward to whatever journey that they go on. And it's going to be amazing from this sample dose that we got from this episode.
So Lucas.
So only thing I was missing before the fight started was Jim Ross saying like Stone Cold. Like that's all you needed, because that's what this felt like. It felt like when the good guy wrestler is getting whooped, and then the other guy's music comes on.
You're right,
and you just lose it. Like, oh my God, he's coming.
You're right. You're right.
Like that's what it felt like.
The hot tag.
That's why it was hokey. It was everything Sam described it as. It's no good acting in this scene. It's just a slobber knocker for about 3 to 4 minutes. Because I don't know much about this character besides the second or two I saw him in the movie. A friend posted a meme that said, "We've been waiting for Boba Fett this long to be on screen, and they gave us the robot chicken version of him." And I went back and watched it, and I understood what they meant by that. Like, this is just, I'm just going to tear up everything, and I'm just going to be everything. So I went and watched it, and I said, oh my God, this is the robot chicken version of Boba Fett. But it was necessary because it was, at the end, it's a payoff. I think that's one thing The Mandalorian has really done well, is it pays off certain characters from the Star Wars universe. As much as we could say Ahsoka, I don't know her name. Ahsoka felt like a payoff in her episode. This one for Boba Fett felt like a payoff. Like, you've been waiting for years to see live action him and him really go to work. And they said, you know what? This episode is structurally not going to make much sense. It's going to be horrible acting from start to finish. But what we're going to do is we're going to let you see just how great this character can be. Because I think, as I've said before with other characters, I believe this is a launching point to his actual story. So this makes me want to see when he gave up the armor and how we got to the point of him getting here. That would be the more interesting backstory to play along with the Mandalorian in his own show.
So okay, so we definitely gotta bring that up then. Nadja, do you want to take it from the Return of the Jedi, the last time we saw Boba Fett? What happened? Do you want to take that?
I keep forgetting, but the assumption I think was that he what was it? One of the sandworms, I think it was. I keep forgetting. I think, and that was just the end of it. They thought that he was done because he was eaten by the sandworm. I believe that's what happened.
Yeah, so, because what's my man? Han Solo shot him. He fell in.
Yeah,
and that was the last time we saw him.
Yeah, that was it.
So in other words, we could, and I think that's why it's been rumors about him having his own show. at its core, The Mandalorian is a Western.
Yeah.
A Gunsmoke type of Western. A Boba Fett show could be a man with no name type of Western.
Ooh,
of him just going and searching like that. And I think it's a perfect setup. And this episode sets that up. Even with the bad stuff I mentioned, just the action at the end and his very short monologue about his life that sets up that type of story.
I wish I knew exactly the quote, but it was hella cool when Mando asked him where he came from, and he quoted his dad, where his dad said the same thing of just being a guy wandering around the universe or something of that sort.
There you go.
When Mando asked that same call back to his dad, I thought that was hella cool that he said that.
That's the man with no name. It's a perfect companion piece Western to The Mandalorian.
Yeah, and they can easily kind of like have like the opening be like from the Clone Wars, the last time he sees his dad and his dad's helmet on the ground. So yeah, they could. And I'm talking about the Clone Wars movie, just so y'all know.
Yeah.
That was the payoff for that. But what else is there even to talk about?
I think two things I would definitely want to bring up. First of all, I also was laughing when Mando was walking up to Grogu, whatever, Baby Yoda. And when he was walking up to the Force, I legitimately was like, "Oh, that's Logan from X3." When he was trying to walk up to Phoenix, and he kept walking up to the 10, he was just like, I was like, but I will say this, and I know he's not everybody's cup of tea, but he's definitely somebody that I love his style. And it's the director, Robert Rodriguez. I'm a big Alita fan, and I love the fact of how his action is done. So I can be, you can give me a good dose of action, and I'll swap out bad acting any day in his style. Because but here's the thing, and why I work for Alita is because when you come from anime and when you come from just cartoons, period, it's not acting. It's just good animation and good acting. And when you grew up on that for so long, it's just like, well, if it's live action, I hope it just really pertains to that and don't try to do too much. This is going to be the worst analogy on God's planet, but it's literally what's wrong with Dragon Ball Evolution, where you had a great anime and then you was like, yeah, now let's try to give this some soul, give this some substance. And it just went completely way downtown into the wrong direction, into the disintegration of nothingness. So that's why, like, when you do anime, when you have like a style and a directing style that pertains to that audience, it is going to work for people, but it may not work for everybody. That's why, like, it's work for me.
I'm everybody because I don't do Chinese cartoons, so that does not work for me at all in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I love Robert Rodriguez though. I actually love him. I hated Alita with an absolute passion, but I love Planet Terror, From Dusk Till Dawn.
Sin City.
Yeah, like it get at times, even though Mando was so stupid in this episode. At times, the action did feel like the slight action in From Dusk Till Dawn to me. It felt the same way. And that was cool. And that's why, in the end, I'm not going to say it's a bad episode. It just has flaws. But one thing is not a flaw is Robert Rodriguez's direction. That wasn't a flaw in this episode.
Yeah.
The way he sets up things, the way look at this shot with the stormtrooper. These guys are normally putties. And they die instantly. Yeah, he broke out that big ass cannon. I said, "Oh, wow! Like that,
she might die for real."
Yeah. So they gonna kill her.
Like, and when the rock fell down, I thought that was a really cool shot as well.
Yes.
Too.
Yeah, that was dope. That was dope.
And the best shot of the entire episode was when the Razor Crest was destroyed from the beam. That was absolutely phenomenal. I watched it a couple of times. Like, wow, that's amazing how that was done. And I, again, I just think it's one of those, if it's your cup of tea, then you go with it. If it's not, then you're just like, this is definitely wonky.
Hey, just turn on some wrestling music the moment Boba Fett starts going. It could be Hogan's like dun, dun, dun. Like it'll get you, trust me, it will get you hype the moment you hear it and you see him go.
look,
man.
Wrestling is nothing but a true protagonist versus antagonist story, and that's all of what cartoons are.
Hey, and we're waiting for the Hollywood Groku's heel turn. We'll really get it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Hey, it's coming. Look, man, we should have bet the beginning of like the first or second episode, the over or under how many episodes till he eventually made his he showed his true nature. And we definitely just took the exit. And at some point we're about to be at our destination. Like this dude, man. It's crazy to me that people still aren't seeing this, man.
Nah, people don't want to see it because he's cute. That's not they can't put that in their heads. They can't put that in their heads. I personally feel like it's gonna be a season 3 kind of moment where he's gonna be like what 2 years? Oh no, we're gonna give him like 10 years. He's gonna be walking around with a little lightsaber or something like that. One day he just use a force lightning all of a sudden on somebody.
Oh, and by the way, to y'all point from either last episode or episode beforehand, now we got the Marshal of the New Republic. So Carrot got her coin. Mm-hmm. She searched the database. Bill Burr character Meg Mayfield is coming back. Mm-hmm. Now we got her exit. Now we absolutely got her exit. We know that she's now accepted it. She accepted her past. She wasn't too keen to even search the database for this, but they're cool since she did it. But she seems like now she's done accepted this possibility or this new job, new destiny, whatever it may be.
New series. It's called a new series. It's called a new series. She's accepted her new series. That's what that is.
She's a straight arrow now, you guys.
Yeah,
she's gone.
Hey, everybody tune into Disney News on December the 10th. You'll hear about her new show then.
Probably. Oh, one thing I did want to bring up is we finally got the Dark Troopers. All right, so my question about the Dark Troopers, there was like 4 of them, I think, that showed up in this one. They came and picked up little Grogu. Were they cyborgs or were they androids? Because I was left in an impression that they had like physical flesh, and then on top of that, they had cybernetics. But I was curious, what was your interpretation? Were they androids or were they cyborgs? Like a mixture or what?
You all remember the X-Men, right?
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was Sentinels. I know a Sentinel.
You think they completely androids?
It looks like it. It looks like they are completely androids.
Yep. Oh, that's dumb. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll say that on record, bro. That's dumb.
Now, Sam, the real question is, so what is the donor for? Well, the donor, if it's not going to be some beefed up stormtrooper or some beefed up android turned cyborg, what is it for? Well, we, to this point, still don't know how Snork was created, and we don't know how Palpatine was brought back. I don't know. I mean, if you're going to bring somebody as strong as Palpatine back, you're going to need somebody strong enough to be a donor for him.
Hey, is Darth Maul dead?
I was about to ask, like, that's the only person I can think of.
So the Darth Maul thing. Let me. Good thing. I got to clear this up. The Darth Maul thing. Darth Maul is definitely been casted. He's been announced and been casted for this. What's going to end up happening? Yes. What's going to end up happening is that Darth Maul is dead because he died in Rebels, and because it was the round 2 of the fight from the Phantom Menace. What's happening here is that they're going to show a flashback. And the reason why they're going to show a flashback is because what Darth Maul has at one point was the ruler of what's the name of the planet? The Mandalorian, where they came from. Whatever it is, the place where they came from. He was once the ruler there. I think they're going to give us a flashback as to how, you have the different tribes within his rule.
Oh, yes.
And how you got Boba Fett and their family. You know how Bo-Katan was talking about another tribe, and then you have his. I think you're going to see why these divisions were made, and I think it's going to be because of the idea of when Darth Maul was the ruler. And how, maybe some people was for him, some people was against him. I think we're going to get all the explanation of that. And it's going to have to be a flashback scene of them doing so. So there's a lot with that. And there's a lot a tie with Darth Maul and the dark saber and everything. So like, it won't be anything, which makes me really curious because I'm like, okay, well, the story that's been progressing for. If you're gonna bring Darth Maul in for an episode here now, like you can't just give a flashback for 5 minutes. That means we're about to get a ultimate episode of a filler. In other words, giving backstory to it. Because that's the only way I can see them using him right now. Is it has to be a flashback as to his rule and how the different tribes, in other words, were established. So
you can't bring Siths back like they bring Jedis back.
Palpatine.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like if anything, what would be interesting is they found a way of bringing him back, and there was a reason for it. Because everything seems like it's pivoting to that. Like, even when I think about the Kenobi show, when I think about Solo, the setup for him there, when I think about the Clone Wars episode that I hadn't even seen, but I know everybody talking about it. It seems like there's a focus there for a reason. So I don't know.
But George Lucas shouldn't have got rid of him after one episode.
Look. I ain't got nothing to do with all that.
And the planet of Mandalore. So yeah, but yeah, it'll be curious. I definitely can't wait to see how they're going to do this. It's definitely going to be it's going to be interesting. I mean, and him being on screen again is going to be mind blowing.
Yeah. So okay, big question. Do they? I don't know if I should say this on camera. Should they bring your boy back as him, or should they get Sam Witwicker? Or was it Sam Witchwood? The dude who did the voice for Darth Maul on the Clone Wars. Because the only reason why I say that is because your boy exposed himself on Instagram. Like on the same day that they were supposed to announce him.
I thought that he was recast though wasn't he?
No, they didn't officially say it. It was like he wasn't recast. They said that his show was coming or something, like he was coming back, and they confirmed it, and that was it. And then that same day, he exposed himself. But I don't remember.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of exposure.
I would have went to Sam Witwitter. I can't remember how to pronounce his last name. I would have went with him.
I'm a big fan of whenever voice actors could be able to give live action chances of the character. So
except for one. That Crisis on Infinite Earths Batman. He was horrible.
Oh God. Look,
he was horrible.
Disrespecting Kevin Conroy.
He was horrible.
Sorry.
He was horrible.
I don't care what he looked.
God, bro.
I don't care about that.
I know you cannot
disrespect Kevin Conroy.
He was horrible. But any other voice actors that it could work, I say why not give it a chance?
Anyway, move forward. What do we give this episode as a rating from 1 to 5?
2.5.
4.
Maybe a 3. Maybe a 3. 3 out of 5.
I'm going 4.5 out of 5.
I give it a 4. I really enjoyed the action. I love the fan service. It's just some dumb stuff going on.
No, it got a 3. It was guaranteed a 3 the third time he went back and got blown away and said, okay, I'll be right back. You stay there. What do you mean you stay there?
Well,
where's he gonna go?
You have to remember, he doesn't understand the Force in Jedi. He didn't even understand how it worked. He was like looking for technology and all that other stuff. I mean, it's just depth into his character and his psychology.
Equivalent of telling the kid, you stick a penny in that socket again, I'm gonna let your little butt get shocked. Once you get shocked once, you tend not to go back and say, let me try that again. Maybe I did something wrong. No, you just, and then to say, you stay there. He's clearly staying there. I'm gonna need you just to go fight. Okay, go fight.
Look, I was kind of confused, to be honest with you. I was like, why are you putting your whole body into this, dog? Like, use an inanimate object or something. Try to push his little tail out with something, but you keeping on running into this, making you look dumb, bro. Like, you are a smart dude.
Smart enough that he doesn't know anything about the Force. But then again, maybe you do, but that wasn't exactly how the Force works for Jedi.
I'm about to say, maybe that's the new Force. That's that new Force. Yeah. I don't know how this one worked.
Look, I don't know if that's the Force, first off. I don't know what that little kid had around him.
Sith Force. That was Sith Force.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, so going back to what Ahsoka said, she said what did she say? Either he would
reach
get
out,
connected to it, and somebody reach out, or what was the opposite of that? What was it that she said alternatively? Because I can't remember.
I guess either the Force will reach out to him or they won't.
Yeah, it was one or the other. It wasn't.
They'll call out to him or they won't. It's the same thing with Rey. In other words, that they've said at times. So it's been the same ideology for all the Jedi. You put them in a Jedi related surroundings, the Force will call out to them or they won't.
So who do y'all think is gonna reach out to him?
That's a great.
Somebody's coming.
It's a great question. I mean,
who would be like because again, this has been a splashy second season. So just think of a splashy Jedi I can drop in there that you wouldn't expect, and not Luke, or don't you name a goddamn Skywalker. Think of another splashy Jedi. It will not be a Skywalker. Are there
any alive at this point?
Yes, there is. And Ahsoka's looking for one. Ahsoka's looking for one.
Ezra is kidnapped by. First off,
when Moff Gideon made that jump into light speed, did you not for a minute think that on the other side of that by any chance that he was gonna was it gonna be what's his name? I can't think of his name now. The other person, Thrawn. Yes. Did you not think that just for a slight second? I don't think they need to go there, but for a minute I was like, oh, I thought it was going there.
So I've been thinking that Thrawn was working with Moff Gideon from the beginning. I've really felt like that. From the moment that Lucas was like name dropping, I was like, I don't want to spoil myself, but I really feel like that was going on. But I don't know. I really don't. I don't have enough understanding or knowledge to know one way or another. But
I'll just say that from my research of the Jedi who's still alive, it's Ahsoka, it's Ezra, it's the two. Luke, and it's the two from Leia, and it's the two from the game. The
boy at Cameron Monaghan's,
and then the black chick. The two of them.
It could be one of them.
It could be. I mean, I don't know, but if somebody calls out to him, all it has to do is be a voice. All it has to do is be a voice, and I would love for
it better not be Mark Hamill's voice.
I would love for it to be Leia's voice. I would love for them.
It's going to be Sebastian Stan's voice. That's what it's going to be.
Nah, I don't. For a show that's already said we are avoiding all the big bads of Star Wars. You're not gonna bring Luke back for the Mandalorian.
Yeah, Leia wouldn't have been strong enough at this time. She hadn't even had her training that we finally got to see she did. So I don't know. Who knows? It could be Yoda.
It better not be Yoda. Out of all people, that better be the last idea.
Look, that wouldn't even make no sense. A Force Ghost coming out of this little thing.
Hey, evil he is. That's all Yoda gonna say. Evil he is.
All right, we're done. We gotta cut it. We're done. We're at the 40-minute mark.
Yeah, we can get out of here. But look, you better hope Palpatine don't make that call. That answer.
Shoot.
So
anyway, all right. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this discussion. Hopefully made you laugh. Hopefully made you think about some stuff. Definitely come back on next Monday. We'll be back. I think probably. Mondo Mondays.
There you go.
Later.